Welcome to Essay Writing for the Study and Institute for IAS. This is your instructor, Professor Dr. Beerendra Pandey. In this lecture, I will give you tips for a simpler way to write an essay for your UPSC examination. The topic that I have selected for today's class is a proverb-like statement. Nobody can stop an idea whose time has come. This is a proverb-like statement, a very abstract topic. When you write an essay on any topic, abstract or concrete, or a topic that requires you to give information, before you do that, you must understand what an essay is. And I am going to make you understand the concept of essay by first of all familiarizing you with a scoring rubric of essay. The way essay will be scored by your examiner. What are the things that they will be looking for in your essay? Once you have an understanding of that thing, only then you can have a correct picture of essay. So let's go over to this question. I am asking you a question. This is the question. What is an essay? What is an essay? This is the question. Is an essay, choice A, an expression of loose diversion of ideas, as Dr. Johnson put it in the 18th century, and I quote his exact words: an essay is a loose sally of the mind. Choice B, an expression of quality ideas. Choice C, a well-organized, smooth moving presentation of ideas relevant to the topic. D, an expression of relevant ideas in correct language and florid style. Well, as the note tells you, the correct answer is C. But how did you figure out the correct answer C? Okay, this idea you will get after I familiarize you with the rubric, a scoring rubric. What is a scoring rubric? How do your examiners, what are the things your examiners keep in mind when they score your essay? When they give you distinction marks, or first division marks, or second division marks, or just pass marks, or fail you? What are the things they keep into consideration? So, bullet point 1, this is a quote from a book, Introduction to Rubrics, an assessment of tool to save grading time, convey effective feedback, and promote student learning, published in 2005 by Daniel D. Stevens and Antonia Levy. How do they define rubric? What is a rubric? So that definition is given here in the quote. At its most basic, a rubric is a scoring tool that lays out the specific expectations for an assignment. So this is the thing for you to keep in mind. Expectations. This is the thing. Expectations. Specific expectations. What are the specific expectations of the examiner? What do they expect from your essay? Rubrics divide an assignment into its component parts and divide a detailed description of what constitutes acceptable or unacceptable levels of performance for those parts. So this rubric scoring does not give you, a pass mark or a fail mark, what they call, it doesn't go for holistic scoring. It gives you a scores part-wise, and then they add it to make the final score a whole. This rubric has 3 parts. 1, rating scale, 2, performance, and 3, indicators. These 3 are the basis on which your scoring is done. Now, this slide familiarizes you with a scoring scale. So, this table has 2 columns. On the left side is the performance grade, and on the right side is the, depending on the nature of your performance, what is the number that your examiner gives you. So, distinction marks is 75 plus. If you get 75 plus marks for your essay, that means you get distinction marks, or you get the distinction grade. First division grade is 60 plus, 60 to 74. And second division is 55 to 59. And thereafter, the pass is like 35 or 33 or 30 or even 40. Depends on what is the lowest rating scale that the examination system has. Some examination systems have the lower pass scale at 30, some at 33, some at 35, some at 40. So depending on that, it goes up to 54. So if you get any marks below 54, this means you just passed. Okay, let's move. Let's understand the performance criteria. Performance criteria relate to the performance skills or competencies which students demonstrate through their essay. These competencies relate to 4 areas. Number 1 is content, carries 35% of weightage. Number 2 is a structure, again carries 35% of weightage. Style contains only 15% of weightage, and language contains only 15% of weightage. Well, now see, why this performance criteria, why is it important for you to know this performance criteria? I remember my own high school and college days when I used to write essays, and my English teacher or professor would simply be concentrating on the correctness of the language and the correctness of the use of the vocabulary. In a way, the teacher's obsession or professor's obsession used to be with language and style only. But what do you find here? What you find is that language and style together constitute only 35% of the weightage. 70% of the weightage goes to content and structure. So, what is content? Content is your quality of idea, your critical thought, and your clarity of purpose. What the quality of ideas that you bring in your essay. By bringing in those ideas, what is the main thing you are trying to prove, and whether you have been able to prove that thing sufficiently or not. So that's how your scorers will evaluate your content. And then what is a structure? A structure is, you see here, organization, flow, and transitions. 3 important words. Organization. How you bring a coherence between one idea and the other idea. A chain. Idea follows in a chain, and how you maintain coherence in that chain. That is organization. Giving idea an order. And flow of thought is whatever amount of thought you have, whatever amount of ideas you have, you are able to express your ideas in a very flowing manner, in a very flowing way. Like water flowing in a stream, it flows very smoothly. And it happens when you achieve coherence. And coherence is achieved through the use of pronouns, repetition of keywords, and most importantly, transition words. You see, third one, transition words. What are the transition words? Transition words are normally conjunctions, and there are specific transition words and phrases. There is a list. I will take a whole class on it for you later. Then we come to a style. Well, a style, very important. Now, just keep three things in mind. Your audience, who is your audience, who you are writing for. Of course, your audience is a very well informed, knowledgeable, professor or a scholar who will be scoring your essay. So you should keep your quality of idea, the level of the quality of idea, and most particularly your tone in accordance with that audience in mind. A scholar professor who will be scoring your essay. So your tone should be, your overall style and tone should be, academic and neutral, formal. Use formal language, academic language, and keep neutral tone. That's what you should have in mind. Most of the students have this habit of using very florid language, flowery language. Okay. Now, this is not good. This is not good. Because if the choice of words or the choice of your vocabulary, for example, if you are using figurative language has a power. But if that power is not justified by the power of the idea, then your style doesn't have the desired effect. Therefore, let the idea choose your words and not the words choose your ideas. Most of the students, they get carried away by a very florid, flowery kind of language, particularly those students who have studied in the north, because in the north there is a tendency, particularly on the part of the teachers and professors teaching Hindi and the other vernacular language, they have this habit of, they have this feeling for using very strong words, very, figurative kind of language, when actually those kinds of languages are not required by the idea. So that makes your style, very bad. Cut out that habit. Do not do that. Let ideas choose your words. So that's what you should keep in mind. Let me reiterate. What your tone should be formal and your tone should be neutral, because you are speaking to an academic audience, and idea should determine the choice of your words, not the words should determine your idea. Okay, so that's what a style is. A style also means, how in your essay you do not repeat the same word. Repeating the same word over and over and over and over, again and again, shows the poverty of your idea. poverty of your vocabulary. Therefore, don't repeat the same words. Use synonyms. And English has so many synonyms, but be careful. No two words in English mean exactly the same thing. So when you are using synonyms, pay attention to the nuances of the meaning before you choose a synonym. Okay. Now let's go to language. Language, grammar, and mechanics. What is grammar and what is mechanics? Well, grammar means right choice of structures. Your structures that you use in your essay are grammatically acceptable. And mechanics means what? Mechanics means spellings and punctuations kind of things. When you are writing, it's very easy to make mistakes. Mistakes relating to grammar. Mostly students make mistakes in the use of tense, in the use of articles, in the use of prepositions, run-on sentences, and in a spelling you may end up using wrong. You may wrongly spell a word, give a wrong spelling of a word in your essay, and also giving punctuation marks where they are actually not required. So you have to be careful about those things, and grammar and mechanics constitute 50% of the weightage. So now tell me the answer to our question, what is an essay? Why answer choice number C is right? Choice number A, let's go back there. So again, let's go back to the question. Dr. Johnson said an essay is a loose sally of the mind, a diversion of ideas, a loose diversion of ideas. If an essay is loose diversion of ideas, as Johnson said it, then how can you achieve coherence? You cannot achieve coherence. Your essay will be incoherent. Therefore, Dr. Johnson's definition is we are not going to buy it. We are not going to take it. Number B, an essay is an expression of quality of an essay is an expression of quality ideas. It's true. An essay is an expression of quality ideas. That's true. But it's not just that. If your essay is full of quality ideas, but it is not, your essay is not organic, your essay is not coherent with a smooth transitions, then just quality ideas will not give you good marks. So remember, quality ideas do matter, but they alone do not matter. So we move to choice number C now. C is an expression of relevant ideas, quality ideas relevant to the topic, an expression of relevant ideas in correct language. The spelling here is wrong. It will be correct language and florid style. An expression of D number, an expression of relevant ideas in correct language and florid style. If you have given relevant ideas in your essay, but you have mostly used grammatically incorrect sentences, then that leaves a very sour taste in the mouth of the scorers, because language has to be correct. And you have relevant ideas, but you have chosen the power of the vocabulary does not match the power of the idea. The power of the vocabulary must match the power of the idea. If that matching is not there, then your style becomes florid. And then your essay will not be very good. Therefore, what is the right answer? The right answer is this. C number. See here, a well-organized, a smooth moving presentation of ideas relevant to the topic. So this is what your goal should be. Your goal in writing essay should be, and how you can achieve, how can you acquire this skill. This is what I am going to teach you through this lecture, as well as my next lecture. I will be teaching you exactly this thing. Yeah, before I move to the next section, let's know a little bit more about the evaluation or the scoring. Content, which has 35% of the weightage, how the teachers or scorers, how they apportion the marks. So see, here you have this distinction. This is first division, this is second division or pass, and this is fail. So at the level of content, your content deserves distinction mark, or first division marks, or second division marks, or it completely falls flat, it fails. And by content, as I have already explained, what content means. Content means your critical thought and your critical ideas, which you have put or arranged in a very coherent way. Your clarity of purpose is clear, and you have substantiated your idea with sufficient examples. So a essay that gets distinction marks, their central idea, that is thesis. Central idea of the essay means thesis. This thesis is well developed. See here, well developed. Clarity of purpose is exhibited throughout the essay. Everything that you incorporate in your essay, all those things speak back to that thesis statement. So this is what is called exhibition of the clarity of purpose, and you have substantiated your idea with sufficient examples. Evidence means examples, bringing in things from your insight, from your life experiences. And these evidences are very important to know this. Interdisciplinary. Then vivid, this is 1, vivid, 2, and specific, 3. See, the examples that you bring in your essay, those examples have to be, first of all, interdisciplinary. Why interdisciplinary? Because the ideas, there are two reasons for this. The ideas on the basis of which you write your essays, those ideas come from your experiences. What do I mean by experiences? By experiences is meant your life experience, your reading experience, so many books that you have read, the fund of information with which you are familiar, your experiences, your first-hand experiences of things in your family, in your society, in your country, and also, a topic on which an essay is asked. That topic has been dealt by scholars belonging to different disciplines. Same thing will be, for example, this topic. Nobody can stop an idea whose time has come. Political philosophers have talked about it. Pure philosophy has talked about it. Management gurus have talked about it. Scientists have talked about it. This is a thing which also crops up in literature, in books of critical thought. So, because the topic of an essay has been dealt in an interdisciplinary way, and because you base your essay on your experiences, which does not come from just one source, therefore you have to take an interdisciplinary approach for your essay. So your content, the choice of your ideas just belong to one discipline, that will make the essay very monolithic and very boring. So try to be as interdisciplinary as you can. Then second thing is that be vivid examples. Your examples should be very clear, tellingly, very effectively substantiate the idea, directly substantiate the idea. If that is, then your examples are very vivid. Try to give more concrete examples than theoretical. Sometimes we have no choice but to depend on theoretical generalizations, but try to give more and more concrete examples, because those concrete examples make your essay very vivid, very clear cut. And give a specific examples which directly relate to the idea. Okay. So if your essay has that thing, then you get this distinction mark. This means 75 plus for content. So out of 35, if you convert this 35 into 100, at the level of content you get 75 for the content. What is the first division? First division marks meets, this, see here, this says exceeds expectation. This says meets expectation. So if you exceed this expectation, you get distinction mark. If you just meets this expectation, these things over here, then you get the first division mark. Okay. So both of them are almost the same thing. But thing is only here you exceed, here you meet. Right? Now see here. Clarity of thought is exhibited. Here it says generally evident. There is a difference between consistent exhibition of an attribute and a general evidence of the thing that your essay has that attribute. So there is a difference. It is a difference in intensity. So here the difference is only in intensity. As the intensity decreases, here it becomes needs progress. See? So here what it means is that all these things, these are here, present here, but not in a very agreeable manner. Okay, it's not that things are not there, but they are not in a very persuading way or very convincing manner. Then that becomes second division thing. In fail, the same thing. See here, little or no evidence of careful thought or analysis and insight, too few or no evidences. Then what happens is your clarity of purpose absent or incompletely expressed. So 1, 2, 3. If a distinction content exceeds the expectation. First division meets the expectation. Second division falters, and fail falters very, very badly. Now come to the structure. This structure also comprises 35% of the weightage. 35% of the weightage. A structure. A structure means organization, flow of thought, and transitions, moving from one idea to another idea within the paragraph, and moving from one paragraph to the other paragraph in a very smooth way. So that is what is meant by transition, flow of thought and transition. When you have good organization and flow of thought and transition, this means you have achieved coherence. Coherence is a word that professors or teachers often use, instructors teaching essay often use. Coherence, your essay must be coherent. So how can your essay be coherent? Your essay can be coherent if your essay is well organized, if your essay has flow of thought, and if your essay moves smoothly from one idea to another idea, both within the paragraph, and one paragraph gives a very smooth opening onto the next paragraph. Very smoothly paves the way for the next paragraph. Okay. Now, again here, distinction mark. If your target is to achieve distinction marks for structure, your answer is logically organized, easily followed, and you have smooth and logical transitions. Now, if you have these things, then your essay exceeds expectation of organization. Here what happens? Well, you have a clear structure, but your structure is somehow marred, M-A-R-R-E-D, marred, spoiled. The beauty of your structure is somehow marred or spoiled by digressions, ambiguities, irrelevances. You have used transitions, but the transitions are very basic. You have only used, the transition words or phrases that are given in a list. Normally, when I will be teaching, I will be familiarizing you with the list. So you just, you use very basic words or phrases from that list in your essay. Then that is called, basic transition. So you have basic transition. Transitions should actually, like the vocabulary, transitions should be, inspired by or required by the idea. The curves and the turns that your idea take. You should be, choosing your transitions from that perspective, and not just bring in like and but and however kind of things. And these are not the only ways whereby you achieve transition. You achieve transition by repeating a key idea, also by the use of pronoun. So there are ways of doing it, and as I said earlier, I will take a whole class on transition. So if you have if your transition is very versatile, then you exceed the expectation. If your transition is basic, then it meets the expectation, only meets the expectation. And here, just see, the same thing. Here there will be, not only digression, but, too many. Here, this is the important thing. Your essay had some level of organization, but the level of digressions, the level of the loss of connections increased to the extent that your scorer, who is your reader, is not able to figure out your essay without much difficulty. Your scorer has difficulty in figuring it out. So that is just pass. The same thing, if your scorer has, if your scorer cannot, figure out at all the connections, then your essay fails. And I have a teaching experience of over 35 years at the university level. And during my long teaching career at the college and the university level, I often come across answer sheets, such answer sheets where you read the whole thing and you don't understand what the answer is trying to say. You just scratch your head. So if that is so, then that essay fails. So be sure that you achieve some level of coherence. Then style. Well, if your style exceeds the expectation, then it should going beyond college level. You should be using rhetorical device, effective tone. Your tone should be very effective, and your sentence variety and coordination. So see, a style which carries 15% of the marks, of the total marks, for the UPSC examination, if you want to get distinction marks for your style, then your style should be beyond the bachelor's level. Okay? Your style must be better than the average style of the bachelor level students. What does that mean? What that means is that you choose right rhetorical devices at the right places. Do you know what are the there are 4 actually rhetorical devices, standard rhetorical devices, but basically for your essay you will be needing 3 devices. I write it here. You will be needing logos, ethos, and pathos. There is also one kairos. So, excuse me. It's not visible on the screen, so let me write here. You will be needing logos, ethos, pathos. Logos, ethos, and pathos. Logos means logic, ethos means ethics, and pathos means emotion. So if your idea, sometimes your idea may require you to be cogently convincing, very cogently convincing, and you can be cogently convincing at 2 levels, at the deductive level and at the inductive level. So what is deductive logic? Deductive logic is you begin by giving a generalization, and then you make a statement. Inductive is you begin with examples, then you generalize, and then you give a statement. So you can go either way, but this logos or logic, your essay actually in every paragraph, you must demonstrate this skill. in most of, not in every, in most of your paragraph, if not all paragraphs, body paragraphs, you should demonstrate this is called, a skill of logic. This use of deductive logic or the use of inductive logic or a mixture of both. You must do that. I'll be in later class. I'll talk in greater detail about this logic, how you can achieve logic in your writing. Both the deductive way and the inductive way. I'll show you that. I'll teach you that. Then ethos. Ethos means ethics, and often the ethical things are very authoritative statements by well-known personalities, well-known scholars. So if you can, quote here and there, then your essay has the power of ethos. And the last one here is pathos. Both logos and ethos appeal to our sense of logic, the brain. But sometimes you have also to tickle or appeal to the emotion of your scorer, of your reader. And when you do that, then you are falling back upon the rhetorical device of pathos. I'll be talking about these things later, when I'll teach you how you can pack your essay with power of rhetoric. I will have one class on that later on. But for now, just, be familiar that this rhetorical here means the use of logos and the use of ethos and the use of pathos. Then, sentence variety, word variety, the variety of vocabulary and the variety of sentence. Normally people say, your teachers, may have taught you use very simple kind of sentence, like 5-word kind of sentence, primer kind of sentence. Some teachers tell their students, use very long kind of sentence, Now, both these, policies are not good. Whether your sentence should be, short or your sentence should be long, again depends on the quality of idea. But remember one thing, an essay with just short sentence it doesn't read well. And in the same way, an essay with very long sentence will not only look very insipid, but will also cause comprehension problems to the readers. Therefore, your sentence, again, the choice of your sentence length should be, and the variety of the sentences should be purely dictated by the flow of your idea. So that is what, basically are the things that they keep in mind when they give you a score for your style. Now, these things, again, if it simply meets the expectation, then it is first division. Your style doesn't go beyond simply attains college level. Your tone is appropriate. Rhetorical devices are there here and there, but not in the sufficient way. You have a rather effective way of sentence variety. Then you meet the expectation. Now, when there is a degradation of this degree, then you get the pass marks. And when it is almost not there, then you get the fail marks for your style. Okay, let's move. So, last of all, we come to language. See, in the scoring rubric, language gets the last place. Grammar gets the last place. Contrast this situation with your high school or college level teacher. When you took your essay to your teacher, what did your teacher do? Simply red marked your essay. Oh, your grammar is wrong here, your grammar is wrong there. This word has been wrongly spelled here, this word has been wrongly used there, kind of things. So, your teacher gave greater importance to the editing of an essay than really the quality of the idea and its organization. They should have been teaching you those things much more seriously than the editing thing. But unfortunately, they gave more emphasis on this editing thing than those things. But it doesn't mean that, language correctness does not matter. As I said earlier, and I repeat again now, language correctness does matter. But it doesn't matter as much as do quality of idea and its organization. So again here, exceeds means what? Your output, your writing output that your essay is. It is free of distracting spelling. You do not have wrong spellings. Your punctuation is correct. Your essay do not have grammatical errors. There are absence of fragments, comma splices, and run-ons. Even even those students whose writing is good, who basically writes grammatically correct sentences, they end up committing these three kinds of mistakes: fragments, splices, comma splices, and run-ons. And again, I will be taking a full class on these three things: this fragments, comma splices, and run-ons. How you can avoid these grammatical mistakes in your writing, which even very, very good students who have fairly good command over language, when they are dealing with a very complex kind of a topic and writing an essay of over 1,000 words, tend to commit these mistakes. So it will be necessary for you to learn these things. Again here, if the degree, if you do not achieve excellence but falters a little bit, then you meet the expectation. If falterations are there, but there are also good things, grammatically good, you have done rather well, then you pass. And if you have completely not done well, then you fail at the level of grammar. So see, the final scoring is like this: 35 plus 35, 70, and then 15 plus 15, 30. This 15 is a style, this 15 is language. So what is the thing that you should be really concentrate on in writing your essay? Is the idea and its organization, because these two things carry 70% weightage of the marks assigned to your essay. Good. Now I come to section 2. Section 2 of my presentation. What was the topic of my essay? The topic of my essay was: nobody can stop an idea whose time has come. What kind of a topic is this? This is a proverb-like statement. It is a proverb-like statement. Okay? It's a topic, it's a very abstract topic. And writing an essay on an abstract topic is 100 times more challenging than writing on a topic I would say writing on an informative topic for which information is there. Abstract topic, it's not that information is not there, but those informations if that exists, if the information exists, the information exists in a very, theoretical or abstract way. Therefore, writing an essay on an abstract topic is, as I said, 100 times more challenging than writing an essay on an informative topic and on a topic that requires only synthesis of information. So I am going to teach you how, in this section, I am going to teach you how you can do that. What are the features of a proverbial statement? What are the features of a proverbial statement? Look at the first bullet point. What does the first bullet point tells you? A proverb is very pithy. What does that mean? Pithy. P-I-T-H-Y. What it means is that a proverb is full of meanings, and the meanings are very abstract, not concrete. Meanings are shapeless. So that is the first feature. Now, why a proverb is so pithy? The second bullet point tells you, takes you this word here, gist. Gist. A proverbial statement is pithy simply because it is a gist. It is a gist. Gist means what? Gist in Hindi means saransh, bhavartha. A writer or writers have been discussing something, okay, and when they come to generalization and move from generalization to conclusion, they will suddenly come up with a statement that is a gist of the larger discussion. And normally a statement which is a gist is a very, will be a one-liner or a maximum, two-liners, and full of, packed with abstract meanings. It encapsulates very complex ideas and very complex notions. So that is its complexity, brevity and complexity. These are also the features of a proverb-like statement. And third thing is that it's very authoritative. A proverbial statement is very authoritative. What does that mean? What that means is that a proverb will maybe, telling you, okay, agree with me. Don't question the veracity. Don't question the veracity of my message. My message is true. Okay? So a proverbial statement is very authoritative. But here, you must be, here is a word of caution for you. You must be alert, because there are two sides of the same coin. There is the other side of the statement. The other side that may be completely contradictory to the authoritative statement. Okay? So these are the features of a proverbial statement. Keep these features in mind as you try to understand a proverbial statement. So how to now understand, before you proceed, even for your rough work, don't begin writing the essay as you look at the question. First of all, there are three major steps that you must take. 3. 1 is you must understand it. 2, you must do rough work. And then lastly 3, you draft the whole essay. You write the whole thing out. But first of all, understand it. Without understanding, don't write. So how can you understand it? When a proverbial or proverb-like statement is so pithy, so abstract, how can you understand it? So there is a method, and this is the method I'm going to teach you. What's the first thing over here? Now, this is the topic of our essay. Nobody can stop an idea whose time has come. See, this is our proverb-like topic. First, what you should do? First, concentrate on the content words. What are the content words? Content words are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. These are the content words: nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. So just first of all, look at these content words in the statement. For example, here, what are the content words? Nobody. This is nobody, noun, stop, verb, idea, again noun, whose time has come, again noun, and this is verb. So these are the content words. Okay, there are two kinds of words in any sentence. One is the content word, or is the grammatical word, function word. Function words are not important from the viewpoint of meaning. Content words are important for the viewpoint of meaning, and here you have to figure out the meaning. So this is why we should concentrate on the content words. Once you have done that, then what is the second thing that you should do? Try to think of synonyms. Substitute those words with their synonyms, right? And for this, depend more on English, but if you can bring in the substitute words from your mother tongue also, doesn't matter, because this is the process of understanding, and for the purpose of understanding, it's not necessary to bring in the synonyms from the language that you are writing your essay in. You can also, if you are more familiar, if you are more at ease with your mother tongue, you can bring in the synonyms even from there. So bring synonyms, doesn't matter from any source. So let's see here from English what can be the synonyms. For nobody, I have given here like none, nothing, two synonyms, none or nothing. Okay, so I have replaced or substituted. I have substituted this nobody with none or nothing. Okay. Then, what's the other word? Verb is stop. I have replaced here a stop with halt, and resist, halt and resist. And then idea with concept or theory, and then time has come. So I have paraphrased this time has come as right time. See here, I have paraphrased it as the right time. So what can be a substitute for the right time? The substitute for right time can be ripe conditions. So see now, when you substitute the content words in this manner with synonyms, you have started to understand. You have begun to understand the statement as I have done here. And I show my understanding by translating the proverb, that is writing the proverb in a way like paraphrasing the proverb in my own words. That is a third step. So you paraphrase the statement in your own words based on the synonyms, as I have done here. See, it is in italics. No hostile force can resist the emergence of a new knowledge when the conditions are quite ripe for it. So this is how I have done it. Why did I bring in hostile force? Where did this come from? Okay, it came from either a person, a force, whether in the form of a human being, or a force in the form of a power. So no person or no power can stop. Stopping requires kind of a force, and the force nobody can stop. So that force becomes hostile force. Okay, it is not a friendly force. It's not there to help. It's there to make things impossible. So hostile force, no hostile force can resist, can stop, resist, halt the emergence of a new knowledge. Okay, idea, concept, theory. What is a concept? What is a theory? It's a new knowledge. So no hostile force can resist the emergence of a new knowledge when conditions are ripe for it. Whose time has come means what? Right time means what? Ripe conditions. Okay. So in this way, I have now a basic understanding of this proverb. Now there is a further step. Okay, before you jump to thinking ideas on this topic, there is one more additional step that you should take. Okay, I am taking you over there. This is expanding a proverbial statement. Now you should. Now that you have a basic understanding, you should now expand it. Okay, because that expanding it or the expansion of your basic understanding makes your understanding even wider and deeper. So you will have a wider and deeper understanding if you expand your basic understanding. Okay, so let's see what are the things over here. Begin by explaining in one or two sentences why the paraphrased statement looks important to you. So, what is the first thing that you should do when you are trying to expand it? You should ask a question to yourself. Why does this statement look important to me? Okay, no hostile force can stop the evolution of new knowledge when conditions are ripe. Why is it so important? Okay, ask this question and try to find out an answer. Because why is it important? It is important because a new knowledge in fit with ripe conditions, that new knowledge can be epoch-making. Okay? Game-changing, epoch-making, yugantakari, as we call it in Hindi. It will bring about a paradigm shift in our outlook to life. This is why it is important. Good. Then, write a sentence or two inferring an assumption you find implied in the statement. Okay, this is important, you see. Inferring an assumption. Every statement is based on a hypothesis. Okay, so what is the hypothesis here? Try to guess that. Try to guess the hypothesis of that statement, and the hypothesis here, as I have done, is a ruling idea keeps getting modified or even replaced despite some resistance by the emergence of a new idea for forward movement. Okay. Idea, the hypothesis here is that how does society work? A society works on the basis of a ruling idea. But the ruling idea becomes obsolete after some time. What makes the ruling idea obsolete? The anti-idea, the antithesis. A society at a given time, at a particular time, works under a working thesis. But that working thesis is being constantly challenged. Okay? And keeps getting challenged and gets displaced by it. When a new idea displaces the ruling idea, then what happens is that a completely new idea emerges, which also rules for some time and gets displaced by yet another emerging idea. So this thing, keeps on happening. This is how human civilization has evolved. This is how our society has been making forward movement. Humankind has been making forward movement. Societies have been moving forward. So this is the hypothesis behind this statement. Now, as I said earlier, cautionary alert. Right? In the first place, the statement looks so authoritative, and at the same time, when you understand the hypothesis behind it, it becomes all the more authoritative. The statement tells you, have blind faith in me, 100%. Okay? But as I said earlier, there are always two sides of the same coin. There is always the other side of it. So, do not get carried over here. Be alert. Think of a contradiction to that statement. Very important. Contradict. Think of an anti-hypothesis. Think of an assumption that contradicts the original assumption behind the statement. That contradicts it. Okay, think of that. Very important. Why? Because sometimes the contradiction may be the right answer. Okay? So, if you are writing an essay and if contradiction is more convincing than the authoritative statement, then you will have to change your tactics. You will be spending more energy in trying to prove the contradiction than the statement itself. But even if the contradiction side is not so overpowering, if it is not so overpowering, even then, you should bring this contradiction in your essay and ultimately resolve it. Because bringing in the contradiction and then resolving it in your essay, this speaks very highly of your critical thinking. And if your essay is flush with critical thinking, nothing will impress your scorer, as powerfully as the presence of critical thinking in your essay. So this is why this, trying to understand the contradictory view is also important, as I have done here. See here what I have done. This is it. An idea at odds with time may backfire. The statement is saying that an idea in tune with time succeeds like nothing. But the other side of it is that if an idea, if it is not in tune with time, it will backfire. As we have seen, or as we see in the very well intentioned economic policy of the Modi government. Okay, his intention is not to be questioned. His intentions are very, good for the nation. But look at the result. It has boomeranged, backfired, because the idea is not in tune with the time. So see now, if you understand your topic in this way, you will be able to bring also the other side of, ideas related to the other side of the statement. So this is how you should understand the proverbial, statement. This is the way. After you have done that, then bring into play some critical reading skills. See, gradually your understanding has increased. Your understanding on the topic has increased. And you can further increase your understanding by bringing into play some of the 3 critical reading skills. One is assimilation. Okay. Now think of idea, think of the statement, look at the statement vis-a-vis the experiences of your life. See, we decipher abstract ideas or complex concepts by connecting them to what we have previously learned or experienced. So this is what is called assimilation. Then once you have assimilated the idea, then you reflect on the assimilation. This is called, a skill of reflections. When you relate to your life experiences, think of the assumptions behind those connections and also reflect on those assumptions. Then your understanding becomes even more critical, more profound, it becomes profounder, much deeper. So bring into play this reflection skill. Reflection skill also means, challenging the assumptions. Also challenge those assumptions. Then the degree of reflection increases even more. And the third skill that you need is a skill of evaluation. This skill of evaluation is simple logic. This is simple logic. If I give an idea, how I will substantiate that idea? Well, you substantiate that idea with examples or some of the quotes by other writers, but you don't overload your essay with quotes. You can in your essay bring quote at 1 or 2 places. But one thing that you must not cut out, must not make absent, is the use of examples. the more examples, the more instances you give to prove your claim, your essay will be very logical. So when you think of an idea, don't just think of an idea, also think of details that can prove the idea. So in this way, your understanding starts becoming better and better. So details, now you must know about details, because I just told you that it is the detail that makes the idea logical. So you must have knowledge about details. So through this slide I am going to give you this idea. Facts serve as details. So what are these facts? These facts are examples or illustrations that appeal to the readers, because showing is better than telling. If you tell somebody just something, and if you tell the thing with some examples, always the second one, telling with examples, will be more appealing. So this is why they say showing is more appealing than telling. So tell, but strengthen your telling with examples. So bring in as many examples as you can. Then there are 4 types of facts. 4 types of facts. One is common knowledge. Second is personally experienced facts. Third is facts reported by others. And fourth is factual generalizations. So these are the 4 kinds of facts. Common knowledge. What is common knowledge? Common knowledge is something that requires no proof. For example, you say, men die, living things breathe. Now, these are self-evident truths, self-evident facts. Okay, common knowledge. Examples I have given: men cannot bear children, opposite poles attract, these are common knowledge facts. Women give birth, men do not give birth, right? Then personally experienced facts, okay, something that you have observed, event which you organized or you attended, okay, or conditions that you have personally experienced. These are your personal experiences. So you can bring the details from your personal experiences also to prove your idea. Facts reported by others. You have read some books, some articles. This is the age of information deluge. There is deluge, flood of information on the internet, right? So you read things in books, articles, newspapers, journals, on the web, and if you remember some of those information, and if you bring those information into play in your essay to prove your point, that is facts reported by others. And then last one is factual generalization. Factual generalization. What is a factual generalization? Factual generalization is a streamlining of ideas based on a larger discussion. Writers, when they write, they are engaged in a very larger discussion by giving examples from different sources, and then they streamline those things into a kind of a generalized statement. So that is generalization. Normally you bring in these generalizations from your reading experiences. And a statement of a factual generalization will be something like this. Mumbai is the economic nerve center of India. Somebody who is writing a book on India's economy has a larger discussion of Bombay and comes up with this statement, Mumbai is the economic nerve center of India. Now, this is a statement, generalized statement, which looks very factual, because if Delhi is the political capital, Calcutta is the cultural capital, and Mumbai is the economic capital of India. So last of all, you must know what are the characteristics of a good detail. When you choose your details, what is the thing that you should pay utmost attention to? Okay, here, last bullet point you see. Vivid, specific, dramatic, direct. Okay, 4 things. Your details should be very vivid, very concrete, put in a way that your reader easily understands it and relates to his or her own experience. Okay, very vivid, very specific and direct, very relevant. It should not be extraneous to your idea. What this means is that, like, see, I give you an example of this. There are 2 ways of touching our nose. One is this, other is this. The first one is a specific and direct way. The second one is extraneous way. Okay, so the details that you choose pointedly refer and substantiate the idea. And if you can make it dramatic, all the better. Okay. So, in the next class, we will move to the 3rd section of our lecture on writing an essay for the UPSC exam. And in the next lecture, which will be the section 3 of my presentation essay, I will teach you to do rough work before you draft the essay. That rough work is called writing process. Okay. My lecture today was geared to preparing you for this writing process as a rough work, which will be the first half of my presentation in the next lecture, and in the second half, that is the 4th section, I will give you the whole essay, and in the 5th, that will be the last section, I will analyze the essay to further make you internalize the craft of writing essay. So that's all for today. Thank you.